Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Mai, and today's video is going to be a small home that I have built in the world of Newcrest, and it is going to be very modern, which is quite out of my comfort zone, but I think it was about time that I both made a modern home and took another whack at making a tiny home, although technically this is going to be classified as a small home, so it's tier 3, which means it's not going to get the same amount of benefits that a tiny home would have, but I still think that it's pretty good. And I did try originally to do the same roof trick that I had done the last time I made a tiny home, which if you haven't seen that one yet, I highly recommend that you do. It's actually one of my most popular builds, which is super flattering. But in that video, I actually added extra rooms to the micro home using roofing. So I tried to include that in this one as well, but it didn't really work out because I had put it on the second floor, but I still really liked that element, so I decided to keep it anyways. And right now I'm just sort of seeing what other things I can add to this house so that it doesn't just look super blocky and bland, and which I think is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of my biggest pet peeve about modern homes is that a lot of them just look very boring. Like there's not really anything ornate about them. They're just, I don't know, big blocks with a bunch of neutral colors on them. And I did really want to incorporate some brown into the exterior, but I couldn't really make it work. So instead I do a lot of black and white, and I guess this door kind of has a little bit of a tan brown, but it's mostly just a black and white house, which is totally fine. It's just not really my style. So I do actually try to incorporate maybe a little bit of a warmer color using the accents on these windows from Growing Together. And I actually really like the shape that they give to the house, because even though they're just windows, I think that the triangular element of the top window that I placed actually, I don't know, it gives the house maybe a little bit more dimension. And the balconies that you see on the second floor aren't actually functional. They're mostly there for decoration. Of course, you can make them functional if you download this and want to use them like that. But I don't know, just for my sanity, I decided to keep them blank. And I also added those really cool, like very industrial kind of braces on the side of the house as just kind of a way to add some more framing, just add something a little bit more interesting visually, I don't know, diverse, let's say. Even though the house isn't really that industrial, I just thought it would be a nice little touch. And I was having a little bit of trouble with the layout, you'll see in a little bit. Right now I just kind of gave up on it. I did a little bit, I don't know, I made it a little bit simple right now with the stairs, but then I kind of realized that it complicates things on the second floor. It doesn't really give me a very clear place to put a bathroom up there, so I do end up changing that around. But right now I was just adding all of the like last minute windows. I was gonna say extra windows, but they are just the regular windows. And here you can see that it kind of messed up where I would have wanted to put another like symmetrical window. So instead what I did is I moved the stairs over to this side, and I don't know, it's a little bit more interesting the way that it's placed. I think it does, I don't know, not create problems for the downstairs, but it did end up making the downstairs have a little bit of a more interesting layout just because of that space that was created behind the stairs. Thankfully though, I do find the perfect use for it, and well, you'll see later, but I create kind of a little hobby corner in that space. And right now I'm just trying to add, again, some more accents on the outside. I tried that tiling from Jungle Adventure on some of the windows, on these smaller ones from Snowy Escape, but they just didn't really look right. I also put them on the downstairs window, but I end up changing it to the same wooden slats that I've placed here. And now I'm adding some windows that kind of look out onto the downstairs, which, because that little tiny room on the left is actually a bathroom, it might look a little bit weird. But you know what? I think it's fine, and it's The Sims, so I don't think that they'll actually, it won't really bother them. But we are working on the wallpaper, and I really wanted originally to pair this concrete, this like gray concrete, with this green stucco, I think it's stucco, from Get Famous, and make it a little bit of a foresty vibe inside. But I do end up changing it later on because, well, obviously it's going to be a rug situation because I had a really hard time finding a rug, and then I ended up finding a rug that, I don't know, made me have to change the wallpaper, which is fine. But we are going to start off with the kitchen, which is always my favorite room to start. And yeah, we're using some base game counters. Originally, I didn't want to use base game counters, but these ones just, I don't know, they fit in really nicely, I think, especially with that concrete, and ties in the industrial elements that I've added to the house. And I used the fridge from the luxury kitchen stuff, I think it's called, Cool Kitchen stuff. And the stove, I want to say, is from Jungle Adventure. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Jungle Adventure. And originally I did also want to use some mismatched cabinets, but I couldn't really find ones that worked. So I used the matching ones with these counters, the matching ones of the counters. So they're also base game. And I think this table is also base game. I tried to change it around, but I do end up sticking it to that first table that I chose. I think it worked really nicely in this space. And I paired it with these chairs from, I want to say Get Together. Which are actually really great modern chairs. I really like the style, and they're technically supposed to be outdoor chairs, but they look really great in modern interiors. So here's actually where I found this rug that I decided to, I decided it was going to take over the color scheme. So I end up switching the wallpaper to a tiling from Spa Day, which just had that perfect muted blue. And you know what? I actually really like it. I think that it's very soothing for this space, which is really great because sometimes I feel like modern homes are a little bit harsh. So I don't know, the muted blue just felt a little bit nicer. And I do end up using these very delicate curtains from Desert Luxe. And yeah, just I think that they're really good for like larger windows and stuff like that because, I don't know, you can kind of customize them. But we are also going to be creating the entryway, and I just placed this hallway table from, I think it's Dream Home Decorator. Yeah, the hallway table from Dream Home Decorator. And yeah, just putting a little planter, I think, on here, and then I end up cluttering it more in post-production so that I don't have to bore you guys with all of that. And I did place that new coffee machine from the Cozy Bistro kit. I really like it. I think it's really cute. Of course, if you don't have that kit, you can easily change the coffee machine. And now we are going to be starting on the living room. I decided to use this really big TV from Base Game. I just felt like the people that lived here just, I don't know, they like watching TV, maybe they like entertaining, maybe they like having people over to watch, I don't know, sports, movies. I don't know if you guys are keeping up with the Euro Cup or the Copa America, like, I don't know, it's all very exciting, all happening right now. But yeah, I've been trying to keep up, not too much. My mom really likes keeping up with it, and I have friends that are really, really into it. But I really just like hearing the highlights, and right now I'm really interested in the semifinals and the finals. I think I like to minimize my stress by only waiting until the last minute to really let myself get invested, because that's when I can really assess if it's worth it to let myself get preoccupied with the games. And thankfully, though, my teams have been doing really, really great, and so I have officially been tapped in by the coach and keeping up with it. And, you know, I'm excited for the outcome. It's pretty fun to watch. And now we are finally in the last stages of the living room. I definitely struggled a little bit with trying to find the right color scheme and the right style. And I'm really happy with like the balance that we've reached. We have gone with a couch from Get Famous, an ottoman from high school years, and I think that table might be from the Industrial Loft Kit. I was gonna say stuff, but Industrial Loft Kit. Oh yeah, and those armchairs are from Snowy Escape. But over here, I'm thinking of putting in a foosball table, but I don't really know. It wasn't really clicking for me. There was just something about it that felt like a bit of a waste of space, and yeah, I don't know, it created kind of awkward corners. So I think I tried to place it over here under the stairs, and instead in this corner I place a desk, and I decided to go with this one from high school years, which it looks kind of like a teacher's desk or like a classroom desk, but I thought it was kind of cool. Like maybe it was, I don't know, like thrifted or like found in a dump or something, and they kind of like redid it all industrial to like go into this, and it like makes it really edgy in a way, that like kind of rusted metal or something like that. But then I decided to make this corner, oh yeah, I changed the rug. you know what, I did like the old rug, but this one's even edgier. And here in this little corner, I thought about making it a yoga corner, and in the end I actually decided to make it a music corner. And in my head, one of the Sims that live here is probably like a musician, maybe they're a producer. It could just be like a hobby, like they're a hobby musician. But yeah, I just thought it was a pretty good use of the space, and I'm just decorating the walls a little bit with some magazines, as I don't know, maybe they've written articles about them. Maybe they're a music writer, or like a music, like a, what's the word? Like when like a band reviewer, something like that, like they work for Rolling Stone or something. And yeah, I just thought it was a really cute way to decorate the space. And we are going to be working on the bedroom, which is up on this loft, so it is open to the downstairs, but I do still think that it's a little bit private. I don't think that it's too open, because the only thing that's really open is the stairs and I guess the window to the dining area. And I did really want to put a fence along the side of the railing to the stairs, but it wasn't really working. For some reason, the fences, like, I don't know, placing a fence makes the game think that you're adding like tiles, and it won't actually, I don't know, and it like messes up with the whole tiny home situation. So instead I had to place a half wall, and I mean, it was fine. I think it like probably adds a little bit more privacy than having the glass fence, but I just thought the fence would have been a little bit sleeker and cool. And since we don't have a lot of room for nightstands, I decided to place this shelf from Snowy Escape just above the bed, and just kind of pretend that this is like their nightstand, is they just use this shelf, which in real life I have used shelves as nightstands before, and it is not comfortable at all. It's The Sims, so it doesn't matter, but yeah, I definitely would not wish that on anyone, unless the shelf was like, I don't know, in a position next to your bed where it won't hit your head, and it, I don't know, you don't have to like raise your arm to grab stuff, then it's probably fine. But the way that it's placed in this room specifically would not be comfortable in real life. And I really like this mirror that I've placed in the bedroom. I feel like it's a little bit of a different style and just kind of adds a little bit more variety to the room, which is always something nice to do, to kind of have a little bit of a feature piece. And we are going to be working on the bathroom as well. The bathroom is probably a little bit unique in my opinion. I mean, not to mention the giant window, but it's also kind of an interesting placement because there's not too much wall space, and I don't know, there wasn't like a very clear space to put each thing, and I didn't want it to feel crowded, but I also wanted to, I don't know, I wanted each thing to have their own area, but I didn't want to, I don't know, I was struggling with the layout. And yeah, the bathtub is like kind of floating. It's like not fully on the wall like behind it because of the window, but it's like right next to the door, but it's not centered. I don't know, it's a little bit interesting, but I don't know, it's unique, and I do like it in the end. I mean, as far as modern bathrooms go, I do like it. You know, modern isn't really my style, and bathrooms aren't ever really my favorite rooms in the house. But now we are going to be starting on the outside, so doing some landscaping, the fencing, and I'm really just doing my classic stuff. I'm not doing anything too fancy, but just using some base game fencing, and yeah, just to add a little bit of privacy with that taller fence, although it is glass, so not that much privacy, but I do end up lining it with some bushes and hedges, so you do get some privacy. It is The Sims though, so it doesn't super matter. And also placing the mailbox. I was trying to place it a little bit closer to the front door, but I just placed it at the edge of the lot. And here is where I'm just trying to figure out how far off the lot I can place the hedges. I always try to do that because I feel like it helps the builds not feel so out of place in the world. I don't know, since the houses, since like you can't ever use that like last tile at the edge of the lot, then having the landscaping kind of hang over kind of makes it feel a little bit more part of the world and not so much just like separate from everything around it. And I'm really glad that I got to fit in a pool. I think that yeah, I think it like helps add a little bit of entertaining space, and since it is like a small home, then having a little bit of outdoor space is probably, I don't know, really beneficial. It probably helps the house feel less small. And hopefully they have a good climate here. I don't actually know the climate for Newcrest. I don't think I've ever played in Newcrest, so I don't know. This would probably be better for Oasis Springs since it's always warm there. And I fit in a little dining area, and okay, at this point, you guys are gonna have to bear with me because I am looking for a pergola. I'm looking for some kind of cover above this little I was gonna say door. Why was I gonna say door? Above this little table. And I tried to do this with fencing and kind of create my own custom pergola, but like I said before, the fencing in The Sims, I don't know, it wasn't really letting the whole tiny house thing work if I used fencing. So I briefly tried to just not use fencing, and I only used those low-lying pale flowers. So I was just raising them up and placing them and raising them up and placing them, and this was such a pain to do. And the worst part is, at the end of it all, I ended up hating it, and I switch it up. I don't remember now what I do, but this actually doesn't end up being the result. I do remember what I did in the end. So just bear with me while we finish up this. I will delete it all now and then get on the actual final results, which I do promise you is worth the wait. I think that it ended up looking so cute now that I actually remember what it was that I did. So yeah, just bear with me. Right now, I just kind of like need a break from that space, and I tried to work on the entryway again. I was gonna say front door, but just the entryway again. Now I come back and I'm like, you know what? No, this looks horrible. I found these like brackets from maybe like Get Together or something, and I was like, okay, maybe I can do something with this. Right now it's just looking like a couple of goalposts, callback to Euro Cup and Copa America. But I don't know, I'm trying to do this, but it is kind of overkill. It really does not look good. I have no idea what I was trying to create here, but what I did find were these string lights from the little campers kit. And this is where this finally came together, and I think this was worth the wait. Let me know if you think this was worth the wait. This is like probably, I don't know, it's so cute, and I'm so glad that I found this, and yeah, I'm probably gonna do this again. I can't believe I haven't done it before, but it totally completes the space, ends up looking way better than I could have ever imagined. And yeah, I'm just like really, really proud of it because I struggled with it, but thankfully I figured it out. And before we get into screenshots, of course, we are going to be doing some terrain paint. This is my favorite way to finish off a build, at least before post-production. But here are the screenshots. There you can see any little extra details that I've added after I filmed. So a couple of planters, awnings, some extra little decorations on the outside. I think I also added those really big windows on the roof, those curved windows that, I don't know, just let in even more light. But here you can see I added some planters, and I added a bench next to the front door in case somebody needs to sit outside and wait. And here we have the inside. I think I've just added maybe that microwave, a plant, garbage can, of course. And I also changed the lighting. I always change the lighting before I take the screenshots so that you don't just have those tiny little saucers that every build has. And here we have our living room. I did add some pillows to the couches. I always like doing that. Now that we have those pillows, I think that I'm getting a real use out of them, real good use out of them. And our very bright and open living room, so beautiful and perfect for entertaining. I actually really, really like that space. And here's our little music corner. I also added a lamp in here. I think that this is so nice, and it's like a little bit private, but I feel like you could put on a performance for your friends. And here is our bedroom. I actually added quite a few extra clutter items to make it look a little bit more lived in because the downstairs feels so manicured. I kind of liked the idea of the bedroom just maybe being a little bit more cluttered. And above the bathtub, I did add that shelf with a whole bunch of clutter. And here is our outdoor space. I added next to the garbage can just a bunch of, just like clutter items, and that bicycle and those planters and that tree divider behind the lounge chairs. But this is going to be the last space we see. Our lovely pool, which I'm really glad I fit in our gorgeous little outdoor dining area, which really felt like a great place to end the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this build as much as I did. Bye buds, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, comment, and share with your friends. Talk to y'all soon. Bye!